Thank y'all for tapping like. When we get to 2K likes, I'll bring up a guest. In the meanwhile, I'm reading the comments down below. Almost there. Shared a live with some friends. So, you know what I'm saying? Friends with lips. Friends with lips. Shared a live with friends that have lips. Shared a live with friends that have rounded noses. If you know somebody that you think could come up here and explain to us the question up above, this is an interview. Just want to remind everyone I'm not here to debate. I'm here to ask questions. I'm not here to debate, just here to ask questions. We want to know what you think, TikTok. We want to know what you think. Please don't come up here asking me what I think. I reserve all my opinions till the end of the live. We had someone that wanted to come up here. I guess they ran. The short attention spans of some people are quite puzzling. If anyone wants to come up, feel free. Peace, Pisces. What's going on, Bubba? Peace, Marlon. What's going on, sister? Appreciate the gifts. Peace, Sister Alicia. What up, what up? Doing well. I'm a little tired. A little sleepy because we stayed up last night. But I really wish I could just keep the conversation going sometimes. I used to do that. I used to be up all night with the conversations, but my work schedule is kind of different. Working towards liberating myself from that plantation. Peace, Thankful. What up? You know what I'm saying? It's all right to have a 9 to 5. It's just we supposed to be planning on our escape at all times. You know what I'm saying? If you work on a plantation and you ain't planning an exit route, then that's when you become a house need in grow. You know what I'm saying? A house need to grow. You know what I'm saying? Gotta be careful what I say on here, but you know what I'm saying? The field need to grows are planning their escape while they working. The house need to grows get comfortable at their job, and then they start to defend things that threaten their master. So me and my wife have an exit strategy, but it takes time to build. It takes money to build. We just making sure we do things right. Yeah. I do work from home, Auntie Gemini. Me and my wife both work from home. Not for long, though. Once the business is up. JD Blue, what up, what up? Peace and love, Ashe. JD Blue got a pointy nose. Are you a sister? Your nose look like Michael Jackson. I heard that, Tony. Me too. Right. Yeah, Auntie. Yeah, I'm a very polite person. That's the thing. Don't get it twisted on the TikTok lives. I'm a very polite person in real life. Um, One thing people have always said about me is I'm very patient. So, man, on TikTok live, I'm very patient with people. I assume most people, I don't know if this explains it any better, but I assume most people are like their inner child comes out a lot more. So I have a loving relationship with my inner child, but I'm the adult. So it took a long time for me to master that balance, but it helps me be more patient. There's a doctor that talks about this, Dr. Gerlach, on YouTube. He's a clinical psychologist. He's a white tea man, but he talks about a thing that a lot of black people have called codependency. It's a mental illness that happens. Someone that's been within like an abusive, narcissistic relationship, not necessarily romantic relationship, but racism itself is a form of narcissism. A lot of black people have a thing called codependency because of it. One of the symptoms is creating a sub-self. A sub-self is like a false identity that we create when we're around someone that could put us in danger, or basically it's like when you go to work, it's called masking. You go to work and you have to act a certain way. You have to speak a little differently. Hey guys, how are you doing? My name is Jeffrey. Yeah. Ha 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 ha. Like, fake laughs you got to do at work. Yeah, we call it code switching, but the psychological term for it is called masking. And what happens is when you mask, often you create a sub-self. And it's a piece of you, but it's not who you truly are. And if you don't know who you truly are, you start to identify more with your sub-self than your actual self. And that becomes harmful. And so a lot of brothers and sisters don't know who they truly are. They don't know who Africans are. They don't know why our culture is set up the way it is and where we come from. And right, we formed it out of survival. And so, it's like a thing where we create these sub-selves, and sometimes because we don't know who we truly are, we think that's who we are. And that's why masking is dangerous. We call it code switching, but it's only code switching if you know your true self and you switch the way you switch your language up. We speak with more than just our mouths, so you switch your mannerisms up, But long story short, when you mask too much, you can convince yourself that you are the sub-self. and then you're in Delulu land. And that's usually when you become a COON. And I code switch when I'm at work, of course. You know, I'm not up there calling them C-Rackers and Yankees. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. You know, but at the same time, I know who I am. So I know I can do that to my advantage. But basically, at the end of the day, black people, we just got to know who we are. That's the biggest power. Self-love, self-respect, that's the answer to any internalized anti-blackness. That's the answer to all of these issues that we see in our community. It just comes down to knowing who you are in order for you to be able to love who you are. But the first step is to know who you are and then love who you found, you know, who you are. It's like a thing, you know. And I'm constantly learning who I am, you know, every day. Every day. I'm learning who my wife is every day. I know, right, Auntie Jess? I know. We do need to get up out of here, man. We planning some things, but we talking about moving, but I don't know. It might be a few years. It might be a few years. I want to go. We really want to go to Africa. Like, she got a cousin living in Tanzania, raising his children. Beautiful black family. And they from Philly, but they live in Tanzania, man. And I'm thinking of, you know, Ghana, stuff like that, but this stuff, you know, until we can afford to buy the house, it's like, right, take the work from, I know, but I can't work out the country. In the job that we have, we can't work out the country. They got us. Can't even work out the country. Because we thought about even going to Belize. You know, Belize, you can do a lot of stuff you can do in America there. But they won't let us take it out the country, so we need something else. We need a better gig. So I've been thinking cybersecurity, but even for that, I got certain things I gotta do. I really need to link up with some Pan-African pro-black elders that have resources. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the number one thing with a lot of black men, y'all. Like, let's keep it a band. Brothers have a hard time getting jobs that they're actually proud of. You know what I'm saying? Like, brothers, that would solve a lot of the issues you'll see with a lot of these weird black men that come up here and blame black women for everything. Like, yeah, absolutely, it's by design. Absolutely. Because I'm telling you, like, a lot of brothers, all we need is to be able to. This is something I don't know if I talked about enough or before, but black men love men in general that define themselves as masculine, right? That lean into their masculinity. See self-love in the form of being able to provide and protect. But they shouldn't prioritize, they shouldn't only prioritize providing and protecting for others. The first thing that a man has to prove he can do is provide and protect himself. You'll see that with little boys too. Like, every little boy thinks that he's the strongest man in the world at some point. Every little boy thinks he can pick up anything. He can hurt himself and get back up. He don't care. Every little boy at some point in his life thinks he's the strongest in the world. Until one day something checks his ego. And then he starts to humble himself a little bit. And men are pretty much those little boys for most of their life. You know, that little boy doesn't go nowhere. There just becomes more layers. And men need to be able to provide for themselves, protect for themselves. And then they can turn around and provide and protect for a sister, you know? self-love, mental balance. You know, that's where it starts at. But I see we probably about to get some guests up here. Anybody that want to talk, come on up. I see you in here, Stella. What's good? What up, what up? I got a feeling somebody gonna come up here and say, what do you mean, are they ethical? What do you mean? How dare you? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Listen, I know it's ethical. That's my Karen voice. Ryan, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Yeah, I'm 25. That's age. Race is white, and pronouns he, him.
All right, talk to us.
So are interracial marriages between black and white people ethical? Yeah, I don't see an issue with it.
Okay, real short and sweet. Did you consider the ways it could be harmful?
How are two people loving each other harmful?
Two people loving each other is not what the topic is about. The topic is about the idea of interracial marriage. So that's something that's more than just two people, right? Because there's races involved.
But why does race have to be involved with it? How does adding race make it harmful?
Do you think that racism affects people's ability to get jobs?
No, I do not.
Okay. Do you think race affects people's ability to be able to move into certain neighborhoods?
No, I do not.
Do you think race affects someone's likelihood of being harassed by police?
That, yes.
Why that, not the other two?
Because I don't know if you can tell by my picture, but I'm in the military, and we have on base we have military police officers, and I know a few military police officers that are extremely racist.
And do you think that they would hire a black person just as much as they'll hire a white person if they were a business owner?
Would who hire? Can you clarify
The
that?
racist military officers, when they're off duty and say they own a lemonade stand, do you think that they would hire a black person for a job just as quickly as they would hire a white person?
Probably not. Okay, I see where you're getting at with that.
If they were the owner of a bank, or a person that was a what do they call those people, underwriter at a bank, do you think that they would approve a loan for a black family as quickly as they'd approve one for a white family?
I would say no. You're probably right again about that as well. I see where you're coming from.
Okay. So do you think race plays a part in people being able to get treatment at a hospital or a doctor's office?
That one I would say no to. I don't think race would determine that.
So you think there's no doctors like the racist people you know in the military?
There might be racist doctors, but I don't. I think in overall, most doctors want to become doctors to help people, everybody, versus
Hmm.
being a police officer. A police officer is like a power exchange. There's no power in being a doctor.
There's no power in being a doctor.
I would say
And,
so.
and you would say there's no people like the racist people in the military in the medical field.
I'm sure there are some.
It's interesting. So you're sure there are some. How many would it take for you to acknowledge that there's racism in the medical field? Like, is there a certain number?
No, not a certain. I'm like, I mean, not everybody in the medical field is racist, but I'm sure there's some people in the medical field that are racist.
So you would say that those that are racist would discriminate against black people in their practice, correct?
Yeah,
Okay. What do you think the likelihood of them discriminating against another white person would be?
unlikely.
Okay. So that would mean that there is a possible chance when a black person goes into a doctor that they could have a racist doctor that would, affect their ability to get treatment in a medical practice. Right?
Yeah,
Okay. So, that being the case, since we've talked about some of the areas of people activity influenced by racist people, and how it's inherently discriminatory towards black people, what would you say about interracial marriage? Do you think that there are racist white people that might still be in marriage relationships with black people? Or do you think the act of marrying a black person immediately makes them not racist?
I wouldn't say it immediately makes them not racist, but I highly doubt that, like a white boy from Kentucky who's been part of the KKK his whole life is gonna, go off and marry a black woman.
Why not? They're actually, I don't know if they're from Kentucky, but there is a couple on the internet that is close to what you're saying. Um, and his black wife waves a Confederate flag around.
That's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, she's into it. But at the end of the day, would you say the act of marrying a black person makes someone no longer racist?
If what you're saying is true about the couple on TikTok, then I would say no. Or yes, like it they could still be racist and marry a black person.
Hmm. Okay. So if there were 1,000 snakes coming through a door, right? And they were coming towards you, and you were on the other side of this door. And I told you that 1 out of 10 of those snakes are poisonous, but the rest are fine. Would you let the snakes walk into the room with you, or would you close the door?
I'd probably close the door.
You sure you wouldn't get down on one knee and try to find out which one is poisonous?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, when we talk about this, I just like to ask people questions and see where their head is at. Thanks for joining the conversation.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
I'll go to the next guest. Don't forget to keep tapping like, y'all. We're trying to get to 20K. Tap like, tap like, tap like. Ashley, what's going on? Give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Okay, my age is 35. I am black, and my pronouns she, her.
All right. Talk to us, Ashley.
I don't find anything wrong with interracial marriages. Um, I've never been one to care. You like who you like. I do think that you have to be mindful of who you are marrying, just for the simple fact that if you come from two different cultures and you try to, and then you have a child, you're not going to be able to, the other half of that child is not going to be able to explain certain things and experiences. So I think people need to be mindful when they do become married, and decide to marry, outside of their race. I do think they need to be mindful of of that. Is if it was a if I if I'm a black woman and I marry a white tea man, I have to be mindful that if me and that man were to have children and to be sons, he wouldn't be able to teach my sons the black experience.
Why would you want your son to know the black experience?
I'm sorry.
Why would you want your son to know the black experience?
The black experience, as in how black men can be viewed sometimes.
Why is
How
that important for the child to know?
Because the child is going to grow up to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
So if he was to be pulled over, whereas his father could be like, F you, dude. As a black man, he is more than likely not going to have that same, privilege and advantage to be able to do that. As a black man, he's not going to be able to, he's not going to be able to walk in through certain doors and not sense it. And I do think that, people need to be somebody laughed at F you, dude. I think people need to, just be more mindful. And it's the same as, vice versa. If it was a black man, marrying a white tea woman and things like that. I don't understand why we have to say white tea on this app, but marrying a white tea woman, it's certain experiences that she would not be able to teach your black child. It's certain things that she's not going to be able to understand. And I think that's what, a lot of, I'm not going to say all, because I know there's biracial children, biracial people in this chat, in your views. So I'm not going to say all, but I am going to say some biracial, people miss out, or not miss out, but like they lack certain things because they, don't have that both parents teaching them their certain experiences. But like, I'm like, if you all got a plan, if you all agree to come together and you all understand that it's certain things that are going to be different, it's certain differences and things like that. If that couple or whatever understands it, then I'm okay with it. The only thing I don't like is that when a lot of people prefer to date outside of their race, it can't just be their preference. Like, I don't care if that's your preference. That's your preference. That's your preference. Just don't bring down or don't put down the women of your race.
Why not?
Because for what? Because 9 times out of 10, the parent, that raised that person, is the same race. At this point, you're putting down who raised you.
You said something interesting about the police and raising young black boys.
Hmm.
So, um, would you say that white people have a privilege in that scenario with the police?
I do. I do think they like to throw out the total of people who are unalived by police and not the ratio of people who are unalived by police. Um, Black people are 2.5 times higher to be unalived, by police than, their counterparts. So there's definitely, a privilege.
Okay.
I do think depends on your area as well. You do have more areas that's a little bit more racist than the other.
Would you say that white people have more privilege in other areas of life? For example, in education, in economics, and getting jobs. Would you say that they're more privileged in those areas as well, or just police?
Um, as a whole, a little, yeah. And it's just, I'm from DC. DC was once known as Chocolate City. There was one good public high school in all of DC, and that was where it wasn't as chocolate, I should say. So they,
That don't
that
sound
was
like a
one,
little.
huh?
That don't sound like a little. Don't come up here and be shy now. If it ain't a little, it ain't a little. It ain't a little.
That was the only public school that but now that it's gentrified, or now they're doing, gentrification, like DC is not how it used to be. Um then it so the schools are getting like remodeled, and they are getting different. Yep, somebody
They
says
teaching? Are
Northwest
they
DC.
teaching? Are they teaching black boys how to handle police?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Hmm.
And right now, DC is pretty bad.
The the white T boy that just came up here knew that the police treat black people differently. You came
Mhm.
up here and talked about how police treat black people differently. So if we all know that the police treat black boys differently and that black boys have to learn this, why don't the schools teach it?
It's the same reason that they only teach Black history in the shortest month. It's
Okay, okay,
uncomfortable.
Ashley. All right, Ashley. Okay, she knows. She know. Okay, okay, okay. So that
Yeah.
being the case, right? If white people have privilege in choosing what we learn in school, if white people have privilege in, um, you know, being able to curse at a police officer and still go home, or even if they get taken to jail, at least they make it to the cell. Um, do you think they have privilege in other areas of people activity? I want to list the areas of people activity that is
Oh, okay,
influenced
let's
by
go. Okay,
racism real quick.
so
So the
if
areas of,
if oh, I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
just want to list them for everybody real quick. Everyone that's listening. These are Dr. Neely Fuller Jr.'s 10 areas of people activity influenced by racism: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war. And the number 10 is health. So, in all of these areas, we have people that are privileged in these areas, and we have people that are exploited and oppressed in these areas. Notice that sex is interchangeable. Some people say sex, some people say love, but same thing. It's interesting to me how we can talk about how there's a dynamic between black and white people where white people are more privileged in all of these areas, and even white people will agree. But then when we talk about building families and we talk about love, for some reason, even black people get kind of shaky and don't want to admit that there might be a privilege in that area as well, a privilege that we don't have. Now, how could someone be privileged in love? What do you think, Ashley?
More of privileged in love. Like
I
I don't
know.
know.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
know.
don't know
I
that.
wouldn't have known either. That's why I don't. If anyone doesn't know a question,
Hmm.
this is an interview, not a debate. So if
Hmm.
anyone doesn't know a question, I'm not here to get anybody. Like, if you don't know, please, anyone that's listening that wants to come up here, just say you don't know, and we're not gonna, because I'm not here to, embarrass anybody, but I want us to
Yeah.
think, because there are areas where white people are privileged in love. They're privileged in all these other areas, but for some reason, when we talk about love, the power dynamic between the privileged and oppressed seems to just fade away into love. For some reason, everyone can love, but we got all these other racial dynamics where they have control and we do not. But then when we talk about love, for some reason, it's like, no, we're all equal. What are you talking about? What makes a relationship unethical is the power dynamic. The reason it's unethical for grown-ups to be in relationships with adults is because the grown-up has a power over the child to take advantage of them that the child doesn't have or isn't even aware of. Same thing with a prison guard and a prisoner. Same thing with a teacher and a student. Same thing with Bill Clinton and his intern. Same thing with Harvey Weinstein and the actors that worked for him. There's always this power dynamic that makes the relationship unethical, and we know this power dynamic exists in any other situation. We all can talk about it, and even white people will admit it. But when we talk about marriage, when we talk about probably the most important part of being a human is creating life and generations to come, and who you spend the most time with and create bonds with, for some reason that power dynamic seems to go away.
I
Black.
think it's more so because love is love, and love can sometimes outshine and outweigh um, any other issues that you may feel, um, because it's a power dynamic in every relationship, um, especially when it comes to possibly like finances and things like that. There's always going to be some type of power dynamic, even when people are supposedly working together 50-50. There's always one person that is going to have just a little bit more
That's not a power dynamic,
um,
though. I hear what you're
power
saying.
dynamic.
I hear
Yeah.
what you're saying. One person can contribute more, but that's false. Because one person making more money doesn't make them more powerful. One person making more money does not inherently mean that they have more of a power to take advantage of someone else. Because you see it all the time. Dr. Dre just went through a crazy divorce with his wife, and she took him for everything he got.
Hmm.
The richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos, lost half of his fortune to his
Hmm.
wife because the power dynamic, even though he was richer, she was the woman that had his kids. She was the woman that gave up time for her life to help him build his career. So money alone doesn't make someone more powerful. And the power dynamic is not always unethical. But the power dynamic is unethical when it causes harm to a people group, when it was created to cause harm. Race is not something that is natural to humanity. We know
Hmm.
this. It was something that was created 500 years ago. So I'm just saying, what do you think is the difference between how white people are able to love and knowing all of this racial oppression, knowing these power dynamics exist, how black people have to love? Do you think that we both just see each other and just whoever, floats your Twinkie, tickles your pickle, whatever phrase you want to use, whatever just tickles your fancy, you
Hmm.
just head over heels, man. I saw her one day and she was the one. Do you think black people have that privilege?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've one of
All right.
I
One
have
thing you
friends that are
cannot
married.
I'm sorry, I have to
I
say
don't
something.
know.
I have to say something because see how that one person say something? When I talk to people one person at a time, we'll go to the next person. Please do not come off mute. it becomes a domino effect, and I'll drop all of y'all. I don't want to do that. So one person at a time. Right now, I'm speaking to Sister Ashley down here. All right, go ahead, Ashley.
I mean, I believe, yeah.
Okay, so if I see a white woman, right, and I just like her, like how she looks, like maybe she's got a book that I read in her hand, and she seems like a really down to earth person. I like down to earth people, and you think I could just as safely walk up to her and say hi as I can a black woman?
In this time, I just don't think it's easy for you to walk up to anybody. But
Yeah, but Ashley, you just said it. You knew about it in every other area.
yeah. But I
Now
mean,
some of us took love as blind and blinded ourselves with love. But be for real, Ashley. You think if I know nothing about they both have the same book in their hand, a black woman and a white woman. And the white woman got on dirty Air Force Ones. You know they love that. And they got on like light colored straight leg jeans and a white top looking like America's sweetheart. And then there's a sister with locks in her hair, very real Afrocentric. She smelled like shea butter. You know what I'm saying? Real down to earth sister. She got same book as the white tea woman has in her hand. And you telling me, as a black man, I'm just as safe. I'm 6'4", by the way. I'm 6'4". Look at my beard. I got locks in my hair. I got nice long locks. You know what I'm saying? I'm very African looking. I have the African phenotype. So you telling me I walk up to this white woman, I am just as safe as I would be walking up to a stranger that's a black woman too?
no.
Okay. So what is the first thing I have to think of when I fall in love with a white woman from across the room?
How you would approach, if you can approach, if she's comfortable with approaching.
There you go. There you go.
But are you saying
Now,
you don't think
as
about
a
that if you approach
when I
a
approach
black
a
woman?
black woman, I understand that I have to think because approaching any woman, you have to come correct. But you can come correct as hell to a white woman, and if she look at you and say, "Ew, N-word, get away from me. I don't like y'all. Ew, you mud skinned. Ew, you like," and they start, you see what I'm saying? Like, you don't know how she was raised. What if she say, "Make America great again"? Hawk to her. Spit on that thing. What if she one of them? You see what I'm saying? You don't know what's gonna come out of them. I just asked the last guest. I said, if you seen 1,000 snakes coming through a doorway coming towards you, and I told you 1 in 10 snakes was poisonous, would you let all them snakes through the door and just try to figure out which one was poisonous and kick them out, or would you slam the door in their face?
No, I'm slamming the door in their
He
face.
said, "I'm slamming the door in their face." So when a black man walks up to a white tea woman in the context of black oppression still going on, because you said it's going on today, it's still happening.
Mm-hmm.
Race still plays a part in the power dynamics between black and white people. That being the case, I know that Becky's skin gives her a power over me in society. Now, when we alone in the room, I could pretend that don't exist. I could pretend we alone now. Ain't nobody else here. But when I walk up to her in public or take her out anywhere, there is a chance that she could exert a power that she has in society over me that a black woman just does not have. When a black woman calls the police, she don't know if the police gonna put her in cuffs or put the man that's aggressive with her in cuffs. We've seen
Okay.
this. We've seen this. We've seen the police arrive and unalive the sister that called the police. A white tea woman is a different scenario. We've seen Jonathan Majors call the police and end up getting arrested.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, because we have to think about our survival first, because there's a racial dynamic at play. It's not love is love. It's, are you someone that will put me in harm's way? I have to think of that first. Now, when a white person meets another white person or sees another white person across the room, do you think they have the same issues? You think they have to think about that?
I mean, they
Even
still have to think about their
even if she
approach,
is,
but
even if he's a Democrat and she's Make America Great Again, you think he's worried? You think he got a fear for his life?
no, no fear for his life. No,
All right. So that's all. Thank you for letting me unpack some of that with you, Ashley.
no problem.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
We'll go to the next guest. Rihanna, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Hi, I'm African American, uh, Mexican American, and Native American. I am 34, and
Don't come up here if you don't know your race, y'all. If you don't know your race, don't come up here. If you don't know the difference between race, nationality, and ethnicity, please do not come on my live.
Yeah,
Miss,
I'm gonna go ahead and get out, brother. I was just gonna, piggyback on something you said. I like what you broke down, but
all
I
right,
don't
give us your
subscribe to certain
age.
stuff, though.
You said
I
what?
I don't subscribe to certain, you know what I'm saying, like what you said, like about the the race stuff like
Oh,
that.
you don't, yeah. You don't subscribe to reality, then don't come up here. All right, we're gonna go to the next. He knew he was gonna be a problem. It's all right. Anybody call himself God body need God. I'm telling you now. We're gonna go to the next guest. Annie, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
I'm 59 and I'm Puerto Rican, but we have African and Spanish.
Do y'all know what race is? If you don't know what race is, we not going to come up on a panel talking about race. If I don't know what quantum physics is, what the hell I look like going on a panel talking about, listen, I don't know, I have a computer, so like, what are we talking about? If you don't know what we talking about, don't come up here and try to talk about it. Say in the comments. If you aren't smart enough to know what race, ethnicity, and nationality is, please don't come up here. If you know your race and you want to come on up and talk about it. Nobody has two races in them. No one has two races in them. You can be multicultural. There's no one with more than two races in them. That doesn't exist on any caste system of race. There was never a time where people had two races in them. There was a time where people with two races were considered a separate race in certain places in the world. But they were never two races at the same time. So, but we're going off of the modern caste system of race, the American caste system of race, the one that perpetuates itself in other ways across the world. Is a global system of white people. I'm sorry, I did not mean to clap to that. That was an accident. I pressed the button by accident. That was unintentional as hell. I was trying to bring up the next guest, and the button's right there. We're not clapping at racism. Anyway, Chrissy, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Um, 34. I'm white, and she and her.
All right, talk to us.
I just have a question. Like, this is like
Oh,
the
answer
third,
questions.
the third live I've seen, and like, I just want to know, like, what are your solutions
I
to
don't
like,
answer questions.
you know, answer? Oh, okay, then my bad.
I ask them.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to answer the question?
Answer. Black. I don't really have an answer because you made some good points about the power dynamics. At first, I was gonna say yes, it is ethical, but I mean, I don't know how. So,
Okay.
but never mind.
It's okay not to know. Thanks for coming up.
Yep.
All right, we go to the next guest. Makayla, give us your age, race, and
I
pronouns,
actually
please.
just I accidentally joined this.
Okay. All right. We gonna get somebody soon, y'all. If anybody want to request, send the request up, man. I
How's
got.
it?
Hi, Mojo. Give us your age, race, and pronouns.
It was age, race, and pronouns. Age, I'm 41. Just turned 41 in June. It's age, race. I am Polynesian biracial. Age, race, pronouns.
Somebody gotta know what their race is before they start talking. Y'all think I'm playing? Y'all think I'm playing? Y'all think I'm playing? What he said, real quick. I'm gonna let you go, Stella, but hold on. What he just came up here and said, he said, I'm biracial Polynesian. That's like me saying when someone asks me my race, and I tell them I'm monoracial American. I'm monoracial American, y'all. That's my race. Like I'm the same race as Taylor Swift, y'all. We're both monoracial American. Like, come on now, Stella, what's good, sister?
All right, what's good, brother? I'm just I'm just getting irritated in the comment section. Can y'all please get up here with some sense and answer the question? You see it says, are interracial marriages between black and white people ethical? Nobody asked about white and Mexican or whatever ethnicity, whatever the heck it is y'all want to come up here and claim. Answer the questions. Stop asking the host questions when you already said he's not here to answer your questions. You came up here to answer the question, the topic. Stick to the topics. Be polite. Stop asking dumb stuff. Stick to the topic, please. It's not that hard. It really isn't. You can get up. It doesn't matter what race you are to get up here, but act with some common sense, or I will make sure you will be blocked because we do not feel like any nonsense.
You sure don't.
Okay? Today's not the day, nor any other day. Act like you got a brain in your head. That's all we ask. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you,
And
sister.
and the answer to the question is no, it's not ethical. Thank you, brother.
All right, sister. Jules, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
34 YT, they, them.
All right, talk to us.
I don't understand how it cannot be ethical. Even when listening to the live, I believe that people should end up being with who they wish to be with. I personally am married to my black husband, so I don't see what's wrong with it.
Wow. So you heard the thing about the power dynamic, right?
Yes, I heard the thing about the power dynamic. We don't really have a power dynamic, so there's been no example in regards to that, to where that has been a thing. I'm actually personally, I'm more scared of a white man approaching me than I am of a black one. And that's because of previous traumas and prejudices that I have had growing up. Because everyone has their own individual prejudices and whatnot.
Don't get into all that. Please calm down. So you thought when I made that example of a black man walking up to a white tea woman that I was saying the white tea woman was scared?
The way that you made it seem like it was both, that both of them would have a
No. Woo. That hit your eardrums wrong if you thought that. That's not what I was saying. There's a lot of cognitive dissonance here. I don't know what to unpack first. So you think that because you're afraid of a white tea man approaching you, that there's no racial power dynamic between you and black men?
I say there's no racial power dynamic between me and my husband because that's what we're referencing. That's what I'm going off of, a reference. since
So
me and my
do you
husband
do
are
you and
in
your
that
husband
same direction,
do
in
you and
that
your
same thing.
husband live on an island, or do you live in society? If
We
you
live
live
in
on an island, that's
society and
different.
there's not been any issues.
Okay. Okay. So you're saying that you live in society where everyone doesn't think like you, correct?
Okay.
Do you believe racism exists?
I do not.
Okay. So you don't believe racism exists. So you don't believe that any racial harm um, like nothing has ever been done to black people that caused them any harm by white people.
That isn't what defines as racism, but that is not
Can you
the
define
same thing.
racism for us then?
To me, racism in today's society does not exist. It is all based on individual prejudices and things that we all individually experience.
So to you, racism doesn't exist. So that means to the rest of us, because of your brain, that's all that matters. And racism doesn't exist to the rest of us because to you it doesn't exist, right? Is that what you're saying?
Because
Darn
that
it.
is something that I personally believe, yes, that racism doesn't exist. Because that's the question you asked me.
Right. So whatever you personally think is the answer in society. Is that what you're saying? I'm trying to like make sure
The
you
way
are.
that you asked me the question was how I answered it.
Oh. Have you ever heard of the individualistic fallacy?
I have heard of it, yes.
Could you describe it to me?
I cannot describe it. I've just heard of it.
What did you hear?
Essentially, that this is how it was described to me. I have not looked up the information, so this could be incorrect in regards to how it was described to me. That basically each individual person has their own perception in regards to the world, and it is persuaded out there when that's not what the reality is.
Okay, no.
That's why I said that's how it was
Okay,
described to
yeah.
me. So
All right, that's not it. But the individualistic fallacy is the idea that racism only exists on an individual level, and that it's not systemic. That it's just as long as someone believes in their heart that they're good, then that person is not racist, and racism doesn't exist. Um, that is a fallacy that has been, debunked over and over again. I just think um, if we're going to keep using anecdotes and what you think as reality, I don't see how this conversation can move forward because this live prompt is about interracial marriages and dynamics between two people groups, not just you and your husband. Do you have a child with this person, by the way?
I physically cannot have children.
Okay, thank
We
God.
are looking to
All right,
adopt.
I'm gonna go. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! All right, are you going to adopt a black child?
It depends upon what we can get. We're
Oh,
looking to
please don't.
adopt teenagers.
Please don't. Please don't do that. I'm gonna go to the next guest. Hey yo, hey yo. You imagine how confusing that is, man. You got a black dad, white mom. You all confused about what race you are. Mom is they them. You're nobody. Like we don't even. Yo, that's gonna be confusing as hell for a child. I'm just trying to say. Listen, man. Some of y'all, woo, the liberal white tea people, man. Y'all gonna confuse the hell out of that child. Anyway, um, that's gonna be tragic to the mind of that child, man. I'm telling you. Nani, you having a hard time loading up. All right, we're gonna go to the next. We're gonna go to the next guest. I got ice cream, y'all. I'm trying to. One thing about me, I'm gonna eat some ice cream. I don't know about you.
For me to go live. Wait, hold on. Hello?
Hi, Ava. You sound like you're busy. Are you too busy to be up here? Ava, you sound busy. Some people too busy to be on live,
Hello, can you
man.
hear me? Sorry, it's my first time doing this.
Oh boy. Give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Oh, I'm 21 and I'm white and I'm a woman.
She, he, or they. Choose one of those.
Oh, I'm a she. Sorry.
She laughing too much. I don't even feel like it. Who else we got? Ryan, are you here? She laughing. Ain't shit funny about this live. Y'all see something funny? Y'all see something funny? We talking about black oppression. Quran Latino. Give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
I'm age 33. Name, you said? You can call me
I didn't
Latino.
say name. I said age, race, and pronouns. So you said
Race.
your age. Give us your
So
race.
the race, I guess for you is confusing because I'm mixed. Apparently I'd be confused because I come from different shade parents, different colors. Only in America I've ever seen people get confused over families that look slightly different or mixed people. What's that about?
I don't know. Go figure it out. You the one confused about it. He asking questions. Sound like you need answers, buddy. We gonna go to the next guest. Oh, all right. The mods are bringing people up. Cry to God. Give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Black 30 plus and he, him.
All right. Talk to us.
Can you give me an intellectual reason why I shouldn't marry an Asian woman that I'm fixed to marry?
No, I don't. I'm not gonna give you a reason why you can't do what you want to do. Do what you want to do, bro. Why are you coming to me asking me this?
Okay, because it seems like you're saying it's unethical.
What does the prompt say about Asian people?
You're asking a question, but your whole demeanor is like, I think this is not good for the black community.
Do you feel like marrying an Asian woman is good for the black community?
I think it's good for both of us because we have less of the
Both of us. I said the community. Didn't I say the community? Or did I say your penis? I
I mean,
said the community.
what makes up a community? People, right? And if
You're
me,
muffled. You got your finger in front of the mic or something.
well, what makes up a community? People, right?
Yes,
And
multiple people. Yes, not just you.
yeah,
So again, the community. How does it benefit the community?
well, if it's positive for me, if this marriage is something that's uplifting and edifying for me, um, I think it could benefit the community because I'm part of the community and I could, that positivity.
Yo, you can't be serious, bro. I'm sorry, you're making me laugh.
What do you mean? This is logic, bro.
No, it's not. It's emotion. You're talking about feelings of joy, like being
Yeah,
black
like
and
if I
happy is
feel
good.
good, if
being
I feel good
you
because,
being happy is good for the community, bro.
yeah, I could
What?
channel that happiness to the community. What's better?
Yo,
What's better?
y'all,
What's better for the community?
y'all can't
Sad
take
people,
TikTok seriously, man. Hey,
depressed
man.
people,
Hey, best of
or
luck to you,
happy
bro.
people?
But best of luck to you, man. We're gonna go to the next guest. Y'all can't take y'all serious. Um, yeah, let them know I'm coming. Uh, I'm sorry. I thought it was in your hand. I just dropped my wife's phone in her food because I thought she picked it up. I thought she was holding on to it. I'm sorry, baby. All right. Bear.
It's okay. It's Annalie.
Okay, Annalie, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Hey, I'm 34, white girl, so she, her.
All right, talk to us.
I'm just wondering, I
Don't answer
guess,
questions.
what's that?
I don't answer questions. This is an interview. We
Oh,
want to know
okay.
what you think.
My only thought about this is like where it ends up, like what the end goal would be. So to me, like, you know, I'm married to a white man. So sorry, I have like a cold, so my voice is really scratchy. It's probably horrible to listen to, but I'm married to a white man, and I have friends who are in interracial marriages, white and black, and you know, they have a lot of challenges. Like, I'm sure that there's a lot of challenges that they have, but
What are your
I
friends?
guess,
What do your friends say, or like what are your white people that you know that have given them challenges say when they talk about them? Like what do they say? You
I
don't have
think
to
it's
put their
mostly
names there.
parenting. I think it's mostly in raising their children.
What do you mean it's mostly in raising? What do you mean?
Just like knowing the right way to raise black children correctly, you know, in this world and in this society, like safely and with a lack, you know,
Wait,
being
no. They
naive.
don't say that. They don't say that. Like, what do they say about this couple? These
Okay,
couples that you know, like, what do white people say?
if
Please
I'm
tell us
being
the truth.
honest, all of my friends that
Yes.
are in interracial marriages are black. My friends that are in interracial marriages, I'm friends with the black people in the interracial marriages. So I hear more about the gripes of their white partners and how they're not stepping up and how it's extremely challenging to specifically black women being married to white men. And I know that, like, I know just from what I've heard that it's extremely challenging for white women to be married to black men, that's like kind of like cursed from the get-go. So I'm not here to say that it's ethical or not ethical. What I'm wondering about is like the laws that, like, where would this end up? Like, if it came to a point of voting, like, is it something that would want to be like protected through laws? You know, like, is it that passionate of a point to where you, like, black people would feel safer if it were supported by law? Because that to me is like, obviously, if, you know, historically that's been an extremely dangerous thing to people of color.
When has
So
there ever been a law created to protect black people?
there hasn't been, but would this be a law that would protect black people, in your opinion? I mean, you said this is an interview,
What
so
law?
you don't have to answer that, but
What
that's where
law?
my mind goes.
What law are you talking about?
The laws that would punish black people for marrying white people. You know, if we had laws that made it illegal for black and white people to marry again, what does that look like? So, like, if we're having a conversation of it being unethical, you know, I know that I just saw a comment like, why do we need protection when we can protect ourselves? Totally. I respect that. Maybe this
Okay.
isn't, you know, maybe I'm not saying the right thing.
Why do you think the answer would be a law to make interracial marriage? Let's say you understand that it is unethical. Why would you think the question is whether or not we should make it illegal or make a law to prevent it from happening instead
Be-
of making laws to make it ethical? Like, why do you think the answer is to stop black people and white people from marrying each other? That why do you think that's the discussion and not maybe treating black people better outside the bedroom could make this ethical to begin with?
Right. I think in my mind, it's like the thought that white lawmakers would take this idea and run with it to a place that is like something that is a repeat of history. You know what I'm saying? And is dangerous to society. But if that's something
When
that,
has white people and laws not been dangerous to black people in society?
yeah, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I do. Like, I'm just, as a white person, feeling that
I'm gonna ask you another question.
the word
So,
unethical
I know, but hold on, because I see where you're going with this,
leads to
and this is
illegal.
something that white people tend to have a cognitive like, the way we think of things is the way you all think of things. So look at this: if a man is drowning in the ocean, do you think that me giving him a cup of water would help that man? Please mute when y'all
No.
come up. Right. So you said no. If I give a man that is drowning a cup of water, that is not going to help him at all. If I give the same man, except this time he is dying of thirst in a desert, if I give him a cup of water, do you think that would help the situation?
Yes.
Do you see how
For a
the
period of time.
same action with a different context means a completely different thing?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. As long as you can see that, then
Thank
the rest
you.
I leave to you to figure out. All
Thanks.
right. Yep.
I don't know how to.
White people see us talking about this, and they know that they have an insecurity within themselves about keeping their phenotype in the coming generations and keeping their bloodline pure. That's something that they think about. So they think that's what we're talking about. So they say, well, we learned that that is evil and wrong and like they think when black people say we need to think more critically, at least can we get police brutality to stop before we start loving the descendants of those that put us in slavery? Can we at least get equal employment opportunities? Like in real life, can we at least get black women that have a master's degree to make more than white women that have a high school diploma? Can we at least get that before we start loving them? Could we at least bargain a little bit better before we turn to them and start loving them? Can we have a little justice? Can we get some justice? Can we get some peace? Can we have justice without peace? Can we have love without justice and without peace? Can we just a little? Are we just selling it? We just with it. We just with whatever, right? So it make no sense. Any white tea person that come up on this stage immediately gets side-eye. You get side-eye because you shouldn't be coming up here telling us about what's ethical. Anyway, I gotta go, y'all. I have a meeting with a room full of black people that's building things for our community. So I'll be back up later. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for the love. You know me, man. I'm here to learn and raise your consciousness, man. Definitely here to raise your consciousness. Peace and Pan-Africanism, like Dr. Umar be saying. Peace and power. Free the land. Free Haiti. Free Congo. Free Sudan. Free Libya. Free South Africa. Free all black people everywhere. Black laws for black liberation for black people everywhere. My name is Brother Legend, and I'll see y'all later. Black power. Black power. I need to make a